Good morning, friends. Welcome to Coffee Talk. Glad you're joining with us today. We finally have coffee in our hands. It took us a couple weeks because we were outside enjoying the amazing Okanagan around us, and I think it's been a great summer, and it's not over yet, but it's a little bit rainy. So we're going to just pull it inside, and yeah. Thanks for joining us today. We invite you to this time to just come and reflect with us, to look back on what we've heard and what we've seen, and just thank God for all those things, and then look ahead and see what's happening in front of us. And there's lots going on. And as we look back on this last Sunday, we're continuing with our series of Living in the Light of Love. And Jeff, you started with a statement or something like that about the power of love, and I remember even hearing like massive, strong atomic bomb. I don't know. Maybe I misheard, but we talked a lot about the power of love. And
yeah, well, I mean, I'll turn the question around for a starter.
Yeah.
Because the question I asked right at the beginning is, what do you think of when you think of the word power, right?
Yeah.
What comes to mind? Because I think that's kind of telling. And then how would you think of love as power, right? So what does come? So I just want to ask you guys.
Just starting with power.
What comes to mind with the word power? Because I've been in athletics a lot, I tend to think of powerlifting. Like weightlifting. How much weight can you push around? And that changes depending on how big you are. So obviously I can't push around as much as somebody much bigger, but for my size, I was compared to other people my size, but that seems to be the thing that comes to my mind. And then then my mind goes to nuclear bombs and just huge power, right? Volcanoes and stuff like that. But what comes to you guys' mind?
Oddly enough, the power that comes to my mind is like the untangible one, almost like if I held sway over other people, just respect in an extreme sense, or maybe because it's a political thing of power over others, or power to be able to influence in that kind of way of it's not tangible, even though I would think of pickup trucks and giant steam engines and
but what drives
Hercules airplane. That's powerful.
But what drives those things is political power, right? Yep. It's so really when you start that's the question. Second question was, what's the most powerful? I would probably say that political power might be more powerful than some of those things because they get those things done, right? So it's interesting. What
and it's untangible. That's what
yeah.
Because I can see Jeff lifting weights, but I can't, I can't see, my influence over others.
Yeah. Well, you sort of can by who's following or who's, you know what I mean, when you say something, but
you have to look for it.
But you're right. Some people, yeah. What?
Well, a couple things come to mind. The first is when our kids are really little, they have that uncanny ability to get us to do stuff we don't really want to do.
The power of our kids over us.
Right? And it's just a look, or it's a pouty lip comes out of our maybe daughters more than others, but and it's okay, fine, I'll do it.
The puppy dog eyes,
I'll get it, whatever it is.
You're just a softy, Chris.
No.
Yeah.
No grumpy
That one, that one in a positive way, I feel is the same way that Paul is talking about. Consider a giant ship, and it's turned by this small word. Consider a parent who can make decisions and think logically, but yet be completely turned on the
right.
Got there's a phrase for that, string wrapped around your finger or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget how the phrase goes, but yeah. That's a good.
And then you spend the rest of your life trying to uncoil it, and logic kicks in. But no, actually, the first thing that came to mind was being on the west coast of Vancouver Island, and you look at the trees, and they grow differently. And they're entirely shaped by the power of the wind. And that keeps these massive cedars from growing tall. It cuts them all off and keeps them short, but also their branches don't grow into the wind. They grow away from the wind. And all of that, the way that just the wind has even shaped the plant life.
Wow.
You know, and its ability just to do that by blowing. And of course, it's blowing bits of sand and, you know, things that also erode away and work on that. But it's that, that wind power. Because when I started thinking about, like, oh yeah, wind power and wave power, and like there's all these things that are just parts of nature that are incredibly powerful.
Oh yeah.
That none of us stand a chance against ultimately. When you look at some of the storms that blow, it's like, wow.
Yeah. Wow. There's so many wonderful metaphors that could come out of the wind blowing a tree and how it grows. But you're right.
And yet, love is more powerful than all of them.
Yeah.
Right? I think is what you were helping us see on Sunday.
Right. Yeah, so then, you know, the question, like I said, is which one's the most powerful? Which then is like, is love really more powerful than all of that? How could that be, right? And so, and then so kind of, it was a long passage, and there's so much in there. Like, it was like, oh man, do I break this down into, 5 weeks on this one passage? But as I looked at the whole thing, I just kept on seeing the power of love in there, and then the 4 things, right? The benefits of that power of love for us. We can be connected to the source. How important is the source to us of things, right? Like water was the obvious example, but there's other things, like if you're turning on a piece of electronic equipment, the first thing you check, is it connected to the source, right? And how many of us have forgotten that, or missed that, or why isn't it working? And call up and, is it connected, plugged in? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. But so we can be connected to the source is the first one. We will be made complete. Like, that's the promise of these verses. If we're connected to the source, we can be connected, and if we are, we will be made complete. Like, it's not like you could be made complete or it's possible. We will be made complete. So we became connected to the source. His love is completed in us. His love is what made the universe, right? His love is what all. So that, and then it gives us discernment. Like, we can discern what's false because of the love of Jesus being connected, and we don't have to have any fear of punishment, right? And so those were kind of the 4 things that we kind of talked about. Is any thoughts come to mind?
Yeah, well, especially with the completeness. I mean, because and now this is getting more to a Hebrew mindset, but like that idea of shalom, of peace, is intricately tied to to being complete.
Yeah.
That when you are complete, like peace and completion go hand in hand. And so, but how often do we think about power and peace being as intricately connected, right? And I think that's a little bit maybe what John is hinting at there, that like we can find peace when we are trusting in God's power. We can find, that's actually when I can rest and be most at peace, when I can trust that God's got this. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And His love is what we're connected to.
I have to remind myself on a daily basis, God's got this.
Yeah.
Because if I watch the news, or if I, think about the things I can't control, or the things that I'm trying to influence, but, I just don't know how, I can get pretty overwhelmed or anxious.
I know this is jumping ahead a little bit, but one of the passages we're looking at with our youth on our camping trip this weekend is Psalm 37. And that's the theme throughout it.
Is Psalm 37 the wait for the Lord? Be still and know? Is that Psalm 37?
That's Psalm 42.
Yeah, that is in there. The verse,
in there, yeah.
I'm trying to think, it's verse 7 or verse 10. I'm forgetting now. One of them still says, yes, just, wait upon the Lord.
Yes.
The idea is wait upon the Lord because He's got this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your enemies are prospering at the moment, but God's got this. The wicked will see judgment. God's got this. And that is the theme that comes up again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Is we're anxious, we're worried, yes, but God's got this.
Yes.
Trust Him.
Yes.
And I think that.
Yeah. And I think so many times throughout the Bible we're told to remember. Why? Because we forget, and we start to think, I can't do this. It's too much, and I'm anxious and I'm worried. No, God's got this, right? And remember is so key. So yeah, so I guess that's a encouragement that if you have to remind yourself on a regular, minute by minute basis, that's okay, that's good, right? Keep doing it.
And so we consider these things, and it compels us and moves us forward. And so, continue to consider these things. You're also welcome to go back and watch some of the sermon series on this, where we actually began in the beginning of 1 John. We're actually working all the way through, right? So it's actually only a couple more weeks. So we're excited about that. Looking forward, there's a couple of things happening. Chris, you mentioned that youth are heading out this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, our annual Fintry camping. I say annual, but of course in my head I'm like, oh, we missed it last year because of fires, and the other year because of that. But
the
our
intention
annual.
was there.
Yeah, when I look at the wall in our youth room where we've taken a picture from every year that we've done a camping trip, it's a long-standing tradition of going. We've had like 15 of these.
Wow.
Where we go camping for the weekend. Cool. It's such a great fun start to our youth ministry year.
Yeah.
A chance to bring in some new people who've started, who are checking things out, but just for even our core to come back together. Hey, we've been all our separate ways over the summer, intersecting here, there at times, but just to come together, focus on God's word, get out in nature, have some fun together, and kind of kick off the school year. It's a pretty special weekend. So I'm looking forward to it a lot, as are our youth. We've got 11 teens signed up right now.
That's awesome.
And so it's going to be a really fun weekend.
And it's not like you guys didn't meet over the summer. You met on a weekly basis at the beach and stuff. But to start off at the campground.
Well, I know. I mean, because like even over the summer, yes, we are. But like some weeks you've got, someone's off at camp for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and others are on holidays. And so though we had a good group meeting, it wasn't always the same group, right? And if we were all together, man, there would have been like 20 of us probably if everybody who came once showed up the same night. Oh, that's even a low number. We had a lot of first-time people come over this summer, and so it's great. Not most of those aren't able to come with us camping this weekend, but like I said, 11 people are, and plus our leaders, and it's a really fun way to start the year. It does have some impact though on what happens here on Sunday morning.
We're a little mad at you for taking them away.
That's fair.
Because,
you know what? I just say that's.
Yeah, deal with it. I'm taking them.
There's so many expressions our youth have that I kind of want to bring up, but they annoy me so much. So
their expressions do?
Oh man, one of them they love is like womp womp. Whenever we're like, womp womp, I'm like,
really?
Oh, that one bugs me. It gets under my skin. The other one I hear is a lot like, that sounds like an issue, not an issue. I'm like,
these are some pretty intelligent phrases. Really think about it.
I know, right? They're like, we're not going to take on your junk. And it's like, man, that's healthy.
How many of us?
However, how you're expressing it is not.
How many of us who've been around for years need to see that, actually take that advice.
Okay, the heart of it's good, but it's coming out all wrong. Anyways, so pray for me and my patience. No, it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Our youth are great. And to be able to hang out with them like this is really special and fun. And so,
pray for you.
Yeah.
Is Dylan coming?
Yes.
And Kaylee coming?
Yeah.
So 2 great youth leaders. Kaylee wasn't here last year, but she's back, so we're super excited about that.
Very excited. And she was here in the spring a bit as she came back from university and then was at camp and is with us again. And that's kind of the stage of life she's in, which is cool.
So pray for leaders, but pray for kids too.
It's going to be great. But then, like I was saying, like Sunday morning, it has an impact on children's ministry, and it certainly has a huge impact on our tech crew and all of that. So if when you come Sunday, things will be a little different. As much as we would have loved last week to be like, hey, kids are doing their whole program forever. Well, unfortunately, it's just the nursery this Sunday, and there'll be other people in tech positions, because our youth who come to church on Sunday morning serve.
Yeah, they do.
And that, which is awesome. That's what we want, right? We want them to be like, no, this is my church and I'm giving back, and they do, which is beautiful.
If I can dovetail off of your earlier comment, like you said, okay, this is a really good opportunity. Okay, it's back in September, routine and all that. Let's pull everybody together and do a thing. So dovetailing off of that, we're going to do the same thing Sunday afternoon. Following our service, we're actually going to kind of call everybody to head down to Green Bay. And so the youth will get back, drop their stuff, and come down to Green Bay. Hopefully they might be a little bit tired, but we're going to all head down there.
I'm more thinking about like we're all gonna smell like a campfire.
Hey, bring it on.
We might all have to jump,
Yeah.
so we might not smell our best,
love
but
this.
yes,
I love
we're excited
campfire.
for that too.
Yeah.
So you can look forward to that, and we have some special instructions. You can see them here, but we encourage everybody to come and be a part of that, and to come and celebrate just the summer and being together, and come down to Green Bay, and I'll have some together time and activities, and hopefully the weather will be fantastic. And if not, we will hear about it from the youth, because they will have slept in that. So it'll be great story time as well.
Yeah.
So that's this Sunday right after the service, Sunday afternoon. And this Sunday, being the 15th, is actually going to be the last day to buy tickets for.
Oh, the 50th celebration weekend, actually just the Friday evening. We are having on the October 4th and 6th, 4th through 6th weekend, a Friday night celebration, and then a Sunday morning celebration during our regular time. We're calling the Friday night the feast, and Sunday morning the focus. And I want to clarify a little bit. The feast doesn't mean like we're going to have all kinds of stuff to eat. It's more about we're feasting on God's goodness and what He's done over 50 years. And so, yes, there will be food. It'll be great. But we're more focusing on what did God do, and so we have some special guests coming, some former, what do you call the members that are charter members?
Charter members,
I keep on forgetting that word. And some pastors from our past that are living away or haven't been here for a while, coming and joining us. So that'll be fun. We'll kind of celebrate some of the things that have happened. And then on Sunday morning, it'll be more focusing in on God and how great He is, and what the heart of Lakeview Heights is about, and has been and will be. And so, yeah, we're super excited about that. So to answer your question or whatever, I jumped off and went, politician on you, but buy your ticket on Sunday if you haven't already for the feast for Friday night.
Yeah. So I have a large extended family. Like even
Are they all coming?
But when we would do family reunions,
Yeah.
it was amazing how not people that you've forgotten about, but people you just haven't seen in a while, and that whole sense of reconnecting, it enlivens the whole building. And we would often do it at a camp, and it was a whole thing. I feel like a lot of that is starting to happen as we connect with some of these people who are going to be coming in, who are old family members of Lakeview, and have been a major part of our previous years, are going to come back and celebrate with us, and it's going to be fantastic. And be able to kind of bring these two groups together of old and new, and just see some amazing things happen, and some awesome sparks fly, and it's great.
Yeah, Lakeview really has affected a lot of people. Just as we've been preparing and hearing from people that have called Lakeview home, and aren't necessarily living in the same place, but are being contacted and talking about it, just to hear how important Lakeview was, influential it was in their life, this family of believers, and how they still consider it their family, and they're excited to be back. So if you're like me, you've been here for not that long, and you're wondering, is this for you? Yes, it is, because as you hear these stories, you realize how important Lakeview has been and will and can be to people who call this their home and are part of this family. So yeah, I just want to encourage you to buy your ticket on September 15th. This Sunday is the last day to buy it. So if you haven't, buy that ticket, and we'll be excited to look forward to October 4th together.
Yeah, so it's a whole weekend. It's going to be exciting, and so you can look forward to that. That's kind of it for us today, but hope you're having a wonderful September as you kind of get off and running into, life and schedules and all of that. But we'll see you on Sunday.